So on your notes, if you have them out, great. If you don't have a copy of your notes, you're more than welcome to take a photo of it before you leave today. But I would write down what I haven't read. Hello? Do you hear what I'm telling you? Same thing that happened with the test yesterday. What I told you was on the test, wasn't it? You had to think. Can we agree? Yes, you had to think a little still. Okay? But what I told you was on the test was on the test. Same thing that's happening here. Not a trick. What I haven't read is what is on the test. And if it's written in, do you think it's probably more important or less important? Oh, you guys are figuring this out. So, if you don't have the notes printed off or written down in front of you, that is totally fine. I would at least write down quick note tests, quick notes for your test. I would write down what I haven't read. That makes sense, don't you think? Instead of just sitting there being like, oh my God, why don't I have this? Why didn't I do that? Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. Don't do that. Write down what I haven't read. Okay? And then we can go. Alright, so everyone, for today's class, what you need is your notebook open, and everyone should have whiteboards out, because we're going to use them here in a second. I'm going to cover a bunch of information, and this is going to be your India lecture. Tomorrow I'm doing Rome and reviewing the Silk Road, which has Rome and a little bit of China in it. Alright, here we go. So, India. Pre-Mayoran. So, what happened in India during period 1 is that during, what am I looking at? South Asia, where are you, South Asia? Oh, there they are. Hello. So, period 1 during South Asia, you had the Hairpins and you had the Aryans, correct? During period 2, your first major empire is going to be the Mayoran. Now, here's a key thing that you definitely need to realize, which we've talked about. Every time an Indian empire rises, they start conquering other kingdoms and stuff like that. What happens when it falls? Patrick? Yeah, it falls into like hundreds of little baby kingdoms, okay? That is a huge part of Indian history. One kingdom becomes really strong and they start conquering other kingdoms, and they become a big empire like the Mauryan or the Gupta. Once the Mauryan or the Gupta fall, it falls back and shatters into a million pieces, and it falls back into small Indian kingdoms. Alright, so the Mauryan. Now, it's going to start as the kingdom of Magda. Okay, it's going to start here. However, it's going to, which is based on Alexander the Great. They start around the Ganges River. Eventually, becomes really strong because of agriculture, and they're going to start really trading in the Bay of Bengal. However, the kingdom of Magna is going to grow into the Mauryan Empire. So anytime you see a red box, if you don't have notes, I would write Mauryan Empire. First is Chandragupta Maurya. Overthrows kingdom of Magna, creates the first unified Indian empire. So, should you have written down any of this part? No? I mean, if you have it, great. But if you haven't done your notes yet, see, some people have and they're just highlighting stuff, great. Okay, anything in red or written in red is what you need for the test. Is everyone clear? So, if you don't have the notes in front of you, I would write that down. So, Chandragupta Maurya is going to overthrow the kingdom of Magda, and he's going to create the first unified kingdom of India. He does not conquer the southern tip. During period 4, during period 3, we have the first unified one, which will be Harsha, and that conquers the tip of India, so it's important that you understand that distinction. So, it is also really important that you understand that Chandragupta Maurya is Mauryan. There's also going to be a guy named Sandra Gupta. He started the Gupta Empire. So it's important that you understand the difference between the names. They're not the same people. They're actually not even related. So Sandra Gupta is going to have the first major empire. He creates a government manual, okay, or how to run a government, with his advisor Katua, called the Athrishama. I don't know how to say it. So he creates a government manual with Katula called the Arishama. Okay? This is going to be the foundation of Indian government structures. Okay? So he creates a government manual. He's the first one to have a unified empire, so it makes sense that he would strategize and come up with a government manual. He creates it with this guy named Catulla, and it's very successful. He also has a network of spies, which is directly influenced by who? Persians. Keep in mind, guys, that when people are coming in and taking over, they're leaving an influence. The Persians took over parts of northern India, which left them this whole spy idea. Alexander the Great came in and conquered, which is why they have a lot of the building construction like they do. That's very Greek reminiscent, so keep that in mind. He retires, our Chandragupta Mayura, and becomes a monk, and then he starves himself to death. So that's your fate of your guy. All right. Your second guy is named Ashoka Mayoran. Ashoka is typically where you're always just going to see him. Ashoka is the golden age of the Mayoran Empire. He is the peak leader. He is the most important one. He's Chandragupta's grandson, and he unifies India even more than his father does, but still not the southern tip. Still hasn't conquered that. No, they're just really, really wealthy and they can defend themselves. And they're also super, super extreme Hindus. Yeah, so everyone's kind of like, it's not worth dealing with them. They're like super religious, which makes them, unapproachable. So, Ashoka, he's going to be the grandson. He's known for ruling his government, not his military. He is known as the most important figure for government. Okay? He's a really cool guy. He's incredibly kind and peaceful. After he dies, there's a complete economic crisis, and the Mayoran Empire is over. So you really only have two major people who are your Mayoran Empire. It's Ashoka and Chandragupta Mayura. He believes in bureaucracy is expensive. The reason why it falls is bureaucracy is really expensive because you got to pay all these people. Money loses value because of inflation after he dies, and it's essentially the end of the empire. There you go. I hope you enjoyed your Mayoran. All right, to the boards. Here we go. All right, here we go. On your whiteboard, please tell me who is the founder of the Mayoran Empire. Who is the founder of the Mayoran Empire? Good, good. Come on, come on, come on. Good. Who is it? Payan. Chandragupta Mayoran. On your whiteboard, please tell me, what is Chandragupta Mayoran's big claim to fame? Good. Good. Come on, come on, come on. What is it? Greta? The first to unify India. The Mayoran Empire unifies India except what part of India? They unify everything except what part? And it's important that you do understand this. Good. What is it, Jamal? Southern tip. On your whiteboard, please tell me what is the name of Chandragupta's little assistant, his go-to guy to help run his military, run his government. What's the name of the dude that is his go-to guy? Good. What is it, Melu? Sounds good to me. On your whiteboard, Chandragupta Mayoran and Kataya write a manual on how to run a government. What is that manual called? It will be the foundation of Indian government. Good. What is it? Bronson? Sounds good to me. On your whiteboard, please tell me what is, Chandragupta creates a network of spies. This is directly influenced by what former empire? Good, good. What is it, Ryan? Persia. On your whiteboard, please tell me what is the name of the gentleman who's going to lead the Mayoran Golden Age? Good. Come on, come on, come on. Good. Who is it, Anisha? Ashoka. On your whiteboard, please tell me, Ashoka is most famous for what part of his empire? He is famous for his leadership in what? Good. Good. Abby, what is it? his ruling government. On your whiteboard, does true or false? Ashoka loses land in comparison to his father. True or false? I think you're using a highlighter there, Cade. Well, yeah, I have highlighters in the bucket because some people don't have highlighters with them. How about you grab yourself a dry erase marker? All right, Carlota, true or false?
False.
False. There you go. All right. The Mauryan Empire collapses after what leader? The Mauryan Empire collapses after what leader's death? Good. What is it, Cal? Ashoka. All right, here we go. So, the Mauryan Empire is going to collapse after Ashoka. Okay? They're going to have inflation, they're going to have money problems, all that stuff. So, as we know, look at that red box we got here. Every time an empire in India falls, India returns to a ton of small kingdoms. Okay, so as soon as a major empire collapses in India, it returns back to a ton of small kingdoms, and eventually another empire will rise, conquer these small kingdoms, and make a unified kingdom. But once that empire collapses again, it will fall back to tons and tons of little kingdoms. Okay? All right, so Bactria, we got one of the kingdoms. It's Greek-based. Alexander the Great's campaign to India creates this kingdom. It's influential, okay? Bactria, the biggest thing you need to know is an intense culture that mimics the Greek culture. Remember, every time an empire comes in and conquers a region, they're going to leave an impact on that region. Bactria is influenced by the Greeks. So the Kush is another kingdom in India that it is post- Mauryan, pre-Gupta, and they're big traders along the Silk Road. And that's their big claim to fame. All right, are you ready for our next big empire? I am. I like them. I think they're cool. All right, here we go. So your Gupta. Gupta Empire is the second, is your next big one. It is founded by Chandragupta. Do we see how similar it looks like to Chandragupta Mauryan? Yes? So make sure you're distinguishing between the two. Chandragupta, I wrote this in today. So if you took notes, you're still going to need to write that in. Leaves local government administration to their allies, and that's the Gupta. So if you have the notes already written down, good for you, you little superstars. You're going to want to write that down. Anytime you see red pen that's written out, it's what I added today. So it's founded by Chandragupta. He is all about the big picture, not about the little picture. So he leaves local government to the allies. It's smaller than the Mauryan. They're not a military at all. They're actually only famous for their math and science, which is pretty extensive. They're also going to discover the monsoon winds, which is a huge, huge improvement to India, which is going to change the game for them. They're going to decline because of the white Huns are going to invade and falls into small kingdoms again. We know for a fact that every time an empire rises in India, when it's conquered, it shatters, correct? So the Gupta is really not around for that long. They're smaller. They're not a military. However, their scientific advancements are going to be huge. So, trade. Because Persia was in India, okay, roads are a thing. And it becomes a major trading center. Because the Persians have been there, they're trading with the Mediterranean Sea in East Asia on the Silk Road. Okay, the Indian Ocean Basin. What is an Indian Ocean Basin? What do we mean when I say Indian Ocean Basin? Gunnar.
Somewhere there's like a lot of trade going on.
No. When I say Indian Ocean Basin, what do I mean? In like a big context, what do I mean? Yesterday I used the Mediterranean Sea Basin. What am I talking about? No. It's the land area. Yes, I'm talking about like the damn regional geographic. Like super simple, not like nothing hard. Like I'm talking about when I say Indian Ocean Basin, I'm talking about any single piece of land or country or water that is in the Indian Ocean Basin, which is way over here. So when we talk about the Indian Ocean Basin, I'm talking about everything right here. This is your Indian Ocean Basin. What you're seeing, India, okay, of course, is here. India, for the first time, is going to start trading with Africa. India is going to start trading with China for the first time with the Silk Road. It is important that you understand that the Silk Road is both land and sea routes. The Indian Ocean Basin is a very strange place because of its currents. Its currents twice a year shift. Half the year it's blowing northeast. The other half of the year it's blowing southwest. So if you don't plan correctly, can you do anything? No, you're going to be stuck where you are. But once you figure it out, guess what? Now all of a sudden trade is super easy, moving this way and backwards and forwards, and it's going to make India incredibly wealthy. Because India has a ton of natural resources. So, Indian Ocean Basin, here we go. The Gupta discover monsoon winds, just like I was just telling you. The monsoon wind patterns blow seasonally in one direction or another. This is on your midterm exam, and you're going to see it every time we mention India. It's a big deal, just like the caste system, right? Hello? The monsoon winds is something that just keeps coming up. It'll be on your AP exam because AP loves this crap. You need to know all of this for your test on Friday. So, the monsoon winds are discovered by the Gupta. It's a huge technological advancement. Okay? So, seasonally based, spring till winter, they blow southern. Okay? Until winter, and then it blows northwest. It allows for trade to move faster and connects East Asia to South Asia, Southeast Asia, and East Africa. That whole basin is now connected once they've made this discovery. And especially if you have the notes already, you need to have this down. It allows for success in trade because of the ability to cross the Indian Ocean. So, all of a sudden now, people in India can sail a ship to Africa. People in Africa can now sail a ship to India. Why is sailing a ship a big deal instead of just taking a road? Why are ships a big deal instead of just taking a road, Callie? Yes, you can carry more. And is it easier or harder? It is easier. When we are doing sea trading, you can carry more crap. If you can carry more crap with you, you can sell more crap. If you can sell more crap, you can make more. There you go. Okay, so you can make more money. So society in the Gupta, okay, it is super structured. They follow the caste system to a T. Okay, it's very patriarchal. They had a common practice of child marriage. Okay, I think we can all agree if you marry your wife and she's 8 years old and you're 24, I think we can all agree you're never going to see her as an equal. Yeah? Hello? If you marry her when you're 8 and you're 24, is she ever going to be an equal? No. She's literally a child. She is literally a child, and that's how you will treat her your whole life. So, that is going to make India incredibly patriarchal. You're also going to see that they're starting to become super materialistic, and it's your Charvakas that are really going to thrive. Your Charvakas are going to be your wealthiest. Your wealthiest groups. Okay? Why are they going to start becoming incredibly materialistic? Why, Gunnar? No, not the caste. Caste has been around for a while. Why all of a sudden are they super materialistic, Patrick? They have so much. Yes. Okay, so if I gave you $1 million, would all of a sudden you'd start be buying brands and stuff you would never buy now? Hello? McCray and I were watching something last night on HBO, and we were watching like Vice News on HBO. And all of a sudden they started talking about like Fashion Week, New York Fashion Week. I could literally give a crap less about New York Fashion Week. There's nothing about this that says fashionable. Okay? With that being said, if you gave me $1 million and said, Sam Bennett, you gotta spend it. Hell yeah, I'd be looking at some Chanel. Hell yeah. I'd be looking at, Alexander Wang was the guy on last night. Hell yeah, that stuff's cute. Am I going to spend $1,500 on a jacket right now? No, because I'm poor. The wealthier you are, the more materialistic you are. All of a sudden, India is going to be incredibly wealthy, which makes them way more materialistic. Alright, so you have your caste system. I'm going to be honest with you. The caste system is not that big of a deal, so don't really worry about it on your test. You should know it by now. Can we agree? So, it's not going to ask you directly what are the levels, so don't spend your time this week memorizing it. Alright, here we go. So, the biggest thing is the original caste system, however, they created the Jati. Remember we've talked about this? The Jati that divides each caste into subcastes, and the Jati is what's going to maintain social order. So, the Gupta are really going to embrace the Jati during their reign. They're going to create even more Jati levels, and that's a very big deal. Okay, so the Jati is going to become even a bigger deal. Alright, so I think we can all agree, if you're in the caste system and you're not in the top tiers, you're going to hate the caste system, right? Hello? Yes. Yes, you would. Okay? So with that being said, we're going to have whole new religions that are going to thrive off of this. Alright, so to the boards. Here we go. That was your Gupta, by the way. I hope you enjoyed them. On your whiteboard, please tell me, what is the crowning accomplishment of the Gupta Empire that will forever change how India is seen around the world? What is their crowning accomplishment? Good. Come on, come on, come on. Let's go. Good. Raina, what is it? Monsoon winds. On your whiteboard, please tell me. The caste system has 5 layers. Okay? When you break down each layer of the caste into subcastes, we call that what? Good. Good. What is it? Sarah? Jati. On your whiteboard, what is a perfect example of Gupta's patriarchal society to the max? You can't get more patriarchal than doing this. I guess if you just killed most women, I guess. Elizabeth, what is it? Child marriage. Can you imagine? On your whiteboard, please tell me, what is the name of the founder of the Gupta Empire? Good. Good. What is it, Munson? Sandra Gupta. On your whiteboard, why does the Gupta Empire collapse? Whose invasion? Good. What do we got, Payne?
The White Huns.
The White Huns. On your whiteboard, please tell me what allows for the Gupta's success in trade? What allows the Gupta to become incredibly successful in trade? Good. No. Persians already built those. Good. Good. What am I looking for, Zach?
Monsoon winds.
Monsoon winds makes them.
Also, can I get a new marker?
Of course, darling. You can always help yourself. Please, please, please. Every time an empire rises, when it collapses, it falls to what? Every time an Indian empire rises, it collapses into what? Good. Greta. Small kingdoms. On your whiteboard, please tell me, who are the super materialistic people in India who are making the most money off of trade? Good. Carlota, who are they? Sounds good to me. On your whiteboard, the Gupta are not known for their government structure. They're definitely not known for their military, but they are known for 2 major things. What are those 2 major things they're known for? Can't see it, Audie. Good. Audie, what is it? Yes. On your whiteboard, please tell me. Nope, we're done. Okay. All right, so the new religions that are going to pop up. So I think we can agree that times in India, because of the Gupta's obsession with the caste system, with the implementations of new Jati, it makes people, every time something increases, there's always a direct reaction, correct? So as the Gupta are pushing more and more and more into this whole caste system thing, there's a rejection of that caste, and it's going to be pretty strong. The first one is Jainism. It's started by a guy named Varharda, whatever. He's an aristocrat, however, he gives up all of his wealth to go wander around. He emphasizes selflessness. The major principle of Jainism is ahimsa, okay? And it's extreme nonviolence, so much so that if there's a bug in front of you, you take a feather and you like lift it and move it out of the way. Like, you don't kill anything. When they drink water, they literally pour it through like a cloth in case there's anything in the water that they don't kill. They don't eat any meat. They only eat plants, all that stuff. Influences later will influence Gandhi and, of course, Martin Luther King Jr. The biggest thing you need to know about Jainism, it rejects the caste. Now, who hates the caste more than anyone? Who in India hates the caste? Poor people. So if you have a brand new religion popping up in India that rejects the caste completely, who is it going to be the most attractive to? Poor people. Even though it's started by a wealthy guy, actually poor people love it. Now, I think we can agree it's not really that popular, right? Do you want to walk with feathers in front of you, picking up all the bugs so you don't kill it? It seems like a lot of work, right? So it's important because it starts this whole rejection of the caste. It's not very popular. However, the next major religion that comes out of India is, and it's Buddhism. Yes?
Does that say underprivileged?
Underprivileged. I don't know. All of your poor people are doing it. Don't judge me, Munson. All right, so Buddhism is going to come next. So Buddhism is started by a guy named Siddhartha Gautama. Okay, he's the founder. He isn't super wealthy. However, he's not poor, and he looks for enlightenment. He spends 49 days sitting under a tree in meditation and achieves enlightenment. Once he does, he becomes Buddha, who's the enlightened one. Now, all of this is really important, like really important. I'm flying through it because it happens to not be on your test. Does that make sense? So you need to have these notes because when you have writing week next week and I'm having you compare religions, guess what information you're going to need? This. So even though I'm flying through it and telling you exactly what's on your test, this stuff is really, really important that you need to have. So if you haven't written down the notes yet, guess what you need? Those notes, because when you're writing your essays next week and I'm having you compare religions, guess what you're going to be going back to? Your notes. So make sure you have them. All right. So followers of Buddha are going to lead this whole new doctrine. The followers are only allowed one robe. Okay? And they're given one bowl of food, like bowl for food. That's it. If you've ever seen a monk like walking around like an airport and stuff, I don't know, I saw a bunch when I was flying to Boston. And New York, there was like a bunch of Tibetan ones, and they wear the orange robes. It was pretty cool. They only own one robe. They bathe, they clean the robe, and then they have a bowl. What happens is they leave their monastery every day, and they walk through the town that the monastery is in, and people donate food. They literally walk through, and people stand outside their houses with like bowls of rice, food, whatever they were eating for breakfast, and give it to them. So if you if you go to like Thailand, there's not that many in India because during period 4 they kick all the Buddhists out. In China they have a bunch. There's a ceremony every day where you only eat once if you're a Buddhist monk, and you walk through the town and people give you food. And then you go back and you pray and do all that stuff. For the villagers, the reason why the villagers do it, it kind of builds like a karma kind of thing. If you feed the monks and they pray for you and stuff like that, it kind of balances out the karma. So anyway. So they wander, beg for food, meditate, create monasteries. So that's Buddhism. Major beliefs of Buddhism. It's called the Four Noble Truths, also called Dharma. Okay? And they believe that all life is suffering. There is no end to the suffering. However, if you remove any desire for anything, the suffering is alleviated. And it can be achieved through the Eightfold Path, which is right views, intention, speech, action, livelihood, effort, mindfulness, concentration. So There's two major beliefs in Buddhism that you need to know and be able to regurgitate on a dime, and it's the Four Noble Truths. Inside the Four Noble Truths is the Eightfold Path. Four Noble Truths are the foundations of the religion. Then you have the Eightfold Path is how you achieve it. Does that make sense? All right. So, appeal of Buddhism, I think we can agree. There's no clergy members. It's completely on your own. You get to kind of do it in your own practice. That's pretty cool, right? Okay. There's no caste system affiliated in Buddhism, so that's attractive. Okay. There's moderate consumption, which means favors the poor. You don't have to be wealthy to be a Buddhist monk. Okay, public service through lay teaching or leading. Lay teaching means that you don't have to have a specific certification. You can just teach others how to do it. Okay, use vernacular or local languages. It's not fancy. They don't require Sanskrit. Monasteries are central. So monasteries are going to become a very big deal during period 4, which is why India kicks out most of their Buddhists. So Ashoka, remember our boy? Ashoka becomes Buddhist, right, Patrick? Okay, he hates the fighting of the Kalinga, so he bans all animal sacrifices and mandates vegetarianism. Okay, now today we think Hindus in India are all vegetarians, correct? Yes, which is why. So it's actually not a Hindu belief, vegetarianism. I was telling my husband this when we were having Indian food a couple weeks ago. I was like, actually, did you know that Hinduism isn't actually a vegetarian what started it all? And he's like, please stop speaking. I was like, no, it's really cool. It's actually a guy named Ashoka. In order to build up the strength, he believed vegetarianism would make the Indian people stronger and better and more effective. So he banned it, and that's why Hindus today are vegetarians. And he was like, you're literally boring me to tears. It's not very supportive. Anyway, Ashoka is going to give monasteries land. Eventually, we're going to have New Buddhism, which Buddha is divine, which means he's godlike. We have saints, and people strive for donations. All right. Located in India, China, Japan, Korea, and Central Asia. Old Buddhism. Buddha is not divine, which means he's a great teacher, but he's not like godlike. Yep, core teachings. There you go. All right, that's everything you need to know for India. All right, on your whiteboard, here we go. On your whiteboard, please tell me, what are the two major theories of Buddhism? What is the two major theories in Buddhism? No. Good, I got one. Look at you getting fancy. Good. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Good. 7, 8, 9. Alex, what are they?
Eightfolds and dotted lines.
Eightfold what? You can't just tell me eightfolds. That's weird. Oh my God. It's eightfold what, people? Path. Eightfolds. It sounds like you're folding like a sheet. Eightfold path is one, and what's the other one, Alex? Four Noble Truths, also known as what, Alex? Dharma. All right. On your whiteboard, please tell me, both Buddhism and Jainism are popular because they do what? Both Jainism and Buddhism are popular because they both what? Good. Tristan, what? They reject the caste. On your whiteboard, what is the major patron or the person who supports Buddhism the most? He makes it incredibly popular in India. Good. Adi, who is it? Ashoka. On your whiteboard, please tell me, what do we call a place where Buddhists, monks, hang out? Good. Good. Jamel, what is it? Monasteries. On your whiteboard, please tell me, what is the name of the religion that refuses to kill anything and goes like super extreme with it? Good. What is it, Raina? Jainism. On your whiteboard, please tell me what is the name of the founder of Buddhism? No, don't tell me Buddha. I hate it. I hate it. I hate it. It's like telling me the founder of Confucianism is Confucius. It's Confuzi. It's an awesome name. No. All right. What is it, Elizabeth? There you go. Siddhartha. Siddhartha is the founder of Buddhism. Siddhartha's nickname is what? This will be the time you can write what you want to write. This is it. This is your moment. What is the nickname of the guy who founded Buddhism? Buddha, yes! On your whiteboard. Please tell me what is, please tell me what Buddha actually means what? Good. Good. Anisha, what does it mean? Eli one. How much time do I have? How much? 8 minutes? Oh, hell yes. All right. So, any questions on India? Is this helpful? I'm literally spoon feeding you. It's disgusting. Huh? Bull. Absolutely not. I'm disgusted with myself. I have so much shame. All right. I'm going to Rome and Silk Road, so join me. I hope you see that tonight, if you don't have these notes, you should have these notes. Yes? Hello? So, please make sure you have them. I'm not sure how far I'm going to get. You're definitely going to want these for tomorrow. Anyway. All right, so Silk Road. So, the Silk Road is going to start during period 2, and that's the biggest thing. During period 1, everyone's trading intra-regionally. What does intra-regionally mean? What does that mean, Raina? Within the region, absolutely. So your Middle East are trading with other Middle Eastern countries. Your African countries are trading in Africa. All of a sudden with the Silk Road, we start going inter-regionally, which means we're connecting different regions together. That's really important for multiple things. A, we're going to see, obviously already, the Indians are becoming super wealthy, correct? They've got everything you want, ladies and gentlemen. Can you imagine eating food without pepper? Without, any of your seasonings? 90% of all seasonings that you have in your cabinet comes from India. Could you imagine how bland European food must have been? All they have is salt. Can you imagine eating toast without cinnamon? How wrong. How wrong. All of those things are coming. You don't eat your toast with cinnamon? No, you put butter with cinnamon and sugar. Oh my God, it's literally transformative. I don't like French toast. I don't do eggs. Eggs freak me out.
You don't like eggs?
No, it's actually a thing of mine. It's really creeps me out. It really does. I'll eat them in a cake. I'll eat it in a cake, but huh?
Do you at least like bacon or something?
What, an egg?
No, just in general, just bacon.
Bacon egg?
No, just bacon.
It's
Do you
bacon.
like bacon?
Oh, I don't really eat other than chicken. Just that's it. Why?
Like bacon?
Not
What kind
really.
of savage are you?
It's not my thing. It's not my thing. Cinnamon toast, that is my thing now, I will tell you that. So, Silk Road is going to start developing in the Middle East. Okay? It's going to start with the Persian roads. I think that makes a lot of sense. Would you agree?
Yeah.
Okay? The Persians are the ones who start the roads. As soon as they start the roads, people start trading in between the region, and then it starts growing out from there. Everyone's like, damn, those road things, they really are making the Persians really successful, so let's do this. So we start having the Han building roads. So the more roads equals more trade. The more trade, the stronger the military. Okay? The more money you have, the more roads you have, the stronger your military. The more roads you have, the more trade. So, monsoon winds are allowing the Indian Ocean to be traded upon. Overall, the Indian Ocean was just used for inter-regionally up until the Gupta discover the monsoon winds, and then all of a sudden it becomes inter-regionally, and all of a sudden the Indian Ocean basin explodes. One of the most common type of questions on the AP exam is how does the Indian Ocean Basin trade during period 2 compared to Indian Ocean Basin trade in period 4? Okay, so what you need to do is that Indian Ocean Basin is a huge deal in period 2. Transforms everything, Silk Road. You'll need to be able to compare it to different times and different periods. Isn't AP World fun? Lies. Tariffs are going to be taxes put on things. People are going to make a lot of money off of it. Countries are importing. So the Hellenistic, which are your Greeks, of course, are going to have little policies. India is going to be a big deal for its spices, peppers, cosmetics, gemstones, and pearls. Sounds pretty cool, right? Doesn't that sound like some things you'd like? Okay, Persia is known for its grain. Now, countries like Greece don't have much grain, so they really depend on Persia and Egypt. Also, the Romans are going to really depend on it because the Romans have such a large population and their military is so big, so they're really going to depend on it. And then, of course, the Mediterranean, they are trading for olives, wine, silver, and gold and art. So these are what each region has to share, to trade with, and that's what they have in abundance. Okay, so for the first time, we start having professional merchants. This is what people are going to do for a living. It makes them a lot of money. It also makes them respectable. When you make money, you're respected more. Have you figured this out in your young lives? So prior to the Silk Road, were local merchants seen as really valuable? No. Remember, every town had a winemaker, a beer maker, a cheese maker, right? What do we call that? Yeah, so was anyone really impressed if you could make cheese? No. However, if you're importing things from China and it's coming from the other side of the world, are people more impressed? So we started having more respect that way. So it's going to create a middle class for the first time. So the Silk Roads are named for the silk that's traveling along it. Who is the first, what Chinese dynasty invented silk, Tristan? The Han. Which empire starts the Silk Road, Tristan? Which Chinese dynasty starts the Silk Road? The Han. See the connection there? Yeah. So it crosses from China, East Asia to the Mediterranean Sea. It is not literally a road. It is literally different pathways to China and Indian Ocean Basin. So sea trade. Your major players on the seas are your Persians, your Egyptians, your Greeks, your Malay, and your Indian sailors. Those are your big players on the sea. There we go. Malay. M-A-L-A-Y. And India. Okay, cultural trading is also happening on the Silk Road. Obviously, we're moving all the goods that we just talked about, olives, wine, grain, cosmetics, gemstones, but we're also cultural trading. Ideas are being spread along the Silk Road, and the most popular religion until period 3 is Buddhism. So what that means is all of your merchants who are along the Silk Road who are carrying goods from China to Europe are Buddhists, which are pretty cool. During period 3, it changes. What is going to be the most popular religion during period 3, Gunnar? No, Christianity is really not that popular, except in Europe. It's really not anywhere else. What religion during period 3? It's not invented until period 3. No, Hinduism has been kicking it since 1. It would be Islam, my friends. Islam becomes the most popular religion. All right, we'll pick this up tomorrow. If you haven't done your notes, you need to do that tonight. Can we just agree? Now you see what class is going to look like. If you haven't done your primary and your math, you need to do them. They're already online. You should have already started your focus and your spice. If you haven't, that's what you need to be doing. I'm literally handing you the test, my darlings. And keep in mind, you'll have no homework this week. Isn't that pretty great, this weekend? So, it's worth it.
Take a picture of your notes.
Yes.